Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khand session. We are Mataji verse 140, right?
Yes, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam. So thank you all for joining. So we will proceed. We were in the Leelas of Shuklambar Brahmachari and along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll see what happens next year. The Shuklambar Brahmachari, as we discussed in the last 2-3 days, is none other than Sudama, and we know the Sudama Leela, which we narrated in the class. दासा घरे माकिया तांदूला विप्रपाया लक्ष्मीपति गौर चंद्र ताहा काड़ी खाया. Whatever rice Shuklambara collected by begging at 10 houses was forcibly eaten by Gaurachandra, the husband of Lakshmi. Shuklambar Brahmachari, the unalloyed devotee of Sri Gaurachandra, the lord of unlimited opulences, was not given the opportunity to serve Hari according to his own will. With the foods that he collected from various places, rather, Sriman Mahaprabhu approved the system of begging by personally taking those foods. As a result, persons who are under the shelter of Sri Chaitanya came to know that Sri Chaitanya Deva is the only worshipable Lord of the Tridandi Bhikshuks. The Tridandi Bhikshuks do not collect foodstuffs for the purpose of satisfying their stomachs or for sense gratification. Rather, they utilize those items for the service of Krishna. Remaining aloof from material enjoyment, the brahmacharis and sannyasis take to the path of begging and maintain the principle of accepting only what is required. The Vaishnava sannyasis serve the Supreme Lord with the ingredients that they collect by begging. The Vaishnava sannyasis' acceptance of various material sense objects like form and taste is not for satisfying the desires of their own senses. Rather, they do not remain entangled in non devotional comforts by utilizing those objects in the service of Krishna. So, by utilizing these objects in the service of Krishna, they are not entangled in the non devotional comforts these things are providing. Persons who are initiated in Chaitanya Mata or who have received transcendental knowledge simply follow the celibacy of Shuklambara while living in Sri Gaudiya Mata. Since Sri Chaitanya Deva snatches and eats all the food items of the Mata residents, they are able to assist Gaurahari in his act of stealing. It is certainly the duty of the residents of a devotional Mata to engage everything in the service of Sri Gaura Sundara. This propensity is worthy of being called prema. If pious living entities aspire for prema, they should certainly observe the pure characteristics of the Matha residents. So what the Vaishnava sannyasis were doing, whatever they collected in the form of bhiksha, they were not using it for their sense gratification. Whatever they collected, they used to, if it is a raw ingredient for cooking, they would cook it and for the pleasure of Gaura Sundara or for Krishna, they would offer it, and only if any remnants were there, they used to accept it as prasada. And they were not entangled in any of enjoying any of the material senses, or they didn't have any material propensities. This propensity is worthy of being called prema. If pious living entities aspire for prema, they should certainly observe the pure characteristics of the Matha residents. The equal vision that is attained by successfully understanding the futility of the fifth ashrama and the fifth varna for those who are established within the four ashramas and four varnas is clearly visible in transcendental character of the residents of a devotional matha. Therefore, so we have four varnas and four ashramas. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, those are varnas, and Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasis are the four different ashramas. Therefore, only those residents of the devotional mathas who are most intelligent, fortunate, and conversant in transcendental mellows understand these topics after giving up all worldly responsibilities and always anxious to serve the fortunate householders by preaching the holy names and love of God at each and every house. Now, our modern education is not giving us the signs of self realization. All of us know that. We might attain any degree, we might attain master's degree, we might become a bachelor's degree, master's degree, or we might become PhD, double PhD. But none of these material education, which is Jada Vidya, is giving us any signs of self realization. In none of these uh, degrees, nobody teaches that what is the goal of life. So, in the path of spiritual highway, a soul, a jivatma, can go as fast as he can. He can go with his eyes closed because there is no chance of fall down or accident. Whereas the modern education teaches only speed. It is all about speed. It is a race, and race against what? They also don't know. So it is a consistent competition and rat race to achieve material success and material education and material success. And it only teaches you the speed. And what is success? Success is to achieve what they like. What they like, when they achieve, they say, oh, he was greatly successful in his career, in his fame, in the money he collected. Okay. But what is happiness? Happiness is to like what one gets. So spiritual path is to get the bliss. And what we get, one has to like, and that is happiness. Whereas success, the modern age success or material success is to aim for, when you get what you like, that is called success. मुद्रारासहिता नैवेद्यरा यथा विधि वेदारूपे आपने बलेन गुणनिधि. The Lord, who is the reservoir of transcendental qualities, personally explained through the Vedas the rules for offering food. The rules for offering food to the Lord are explained as follows. One should chant the mantra Astraya Fat while sprinkling water on the offering and protect it by executing the Chakra Mudra. So when sometimes you would have observed in the temple when the pujari offers, when the bhoga offering is happen anyway, the curtain is drawn and nobody is, at least the devotees who are standing out are not supposed to see. So the pujari is offering the plate. He covers the plate first of all with a cloth or with another plate and takes the bhoga to the deity altar. And there, when he opens it, he has to sprinkle it with water, chant some mantra, and there are some hasta mudras which he performs and chants prayers. So that is the Pancharatrika Vidhi of offering the bhoga. And we, in our Vaishnava culture, we have couple of mantras where we offer the bhoga to our Guru, to our Diksha Guru, to our Param Guru, and to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to Krishna. In this way, we have no eligibility to offer directly to their lordships, whether it is Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, or Gaur Nitai, or Radha Krishna deities at home. But we are only an instrument in the hands of our Diksha Guru. We are only facilitating and we are offering the foodstuffs to our Guru Parampara or Guru Varga, and they in turn offer it in Parampara successively to their Guru, and that's how it reaches the Supreme Lord. So we go back to the purport here. Thereafter, one should dip his finger in water and chant the Vayu Bija Yama 10 times and sprinkle that water on the offering. After purifying the dryness of the offering by this process, one should mentally place a Vahani Bija Ram within the palm of his right hand and with his left hand below the right hand displayed before the offering. With the fire arising from this, one should mentally burn the dryness of the offering. Thereafter, one should mentally place a Amrita Bija thumb within his left palm. Then, with the right hand below the left, display this before the offering. One should then sprinkle the nectar arising from this mudra on the offering. After that, one should sprinkle the previously purified water on the offering while chanting the Mula mantra and consider that the entire offering is nectar. Then, touching the offering with one's right hand, one should chant the Mula mantra 8 times. After that, while executing the Dhenu mudra, one should consider that the offering is complete and one should worship that offering along with Sri Hari with ingredients such as water and sandalwood paste. Thereafter, taking a handful of flowers, one should worship Sri Hari and pray as follows. O Lord, let fire emanate from your lotus feet, lotus mouth to accept this offering. Thereafter, one should consider that fire is emanating from the Lord's mouth and contacting the offering. Then touching the offering with one's left hand and taking water with sandalwood pulp and flowers in right hand. And after chanting the Mula mantra, ending in Swaha, one should chant Shri Krishnaya idam nevedyam kalpayami and throw the water with sandalwood pulp and flowers from his right hand to the ground. Thereafter, one should offer the foodstuffs with tulsi to the Lord with appropriate mantras. The mantra for offering foods to the Lord is Nevedyam Bhavate Jushanedam Havir Hare. Then chanting the mantra Amrito Pastaranam Ashiswaha. One should appropriately offer water to the Lord for cleansing his hands and mouth and execute the Grasa Mudra resembling a fully bloomed lotus. Actually, one should execute the 5 mudras, beginning with the Prana mudra with one's right hand while chanting the 5 corresponding mantras that begin with Om and end in the fourth dative case and Swaha. So, this is for Brahmanical initiated devotees and who are offering the foodstuff in temple altar. But at home, we have the two Guru mantras and one mantra for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then one mantra for Krishna. Uttering thus three times, we offer our footsteps while circulating the offering plate with little bit of water from Achaman and Tulsi on the foodstuffs. We can offer our bhoga to the lordships through our Guru Parampara. Thereafter, one should touch the two thumbs with their joining index fingers, chant the appropriate mantra for offering, and execute the offering mudra before the Lord. The mantra to be chanted while executing the offering mudra is Tau Namaha Paraya Avatmane Niruddhaya Nevedyam Kalpayami. Persons who are engaged in devotional service to the Lord chant their worshipful mantra, Gayatri mantras, and execute the Grasa mudra to offer the foodstuffs. But they do not meditate on fire emanating from the lotus mouth of Hari. The main point is that they joyfully feed Sri Hari according to Vaishnava etiquette. So this is coming from Sri Hari Bhakta Vilasa, 8th Vilasa. So some may question you, where is your Lord eating? So the Lord, for him, any sense can work as any sense. So by observing the Lord as Archavigra form is the most merciful form which has come in the life of devotees. And in this most merciful form, in whatever form or material you have at your home, the Lord through his beautiful eyes accepts, and in Shastra it is written that whatever a devotee offers with a very nice humble intention, Lord accepts the footsteps through his eyes. For him, any sense organ acts as any other sense organ. So this is given in Brahma Samhita as well. विने से विधि किचु स्वीकार न करे सकल प्रतिजना चूर्ण भक्तेरा दुयरे. He does not accept anything unless it is offered according to these rules, but he breaks all those injections for the sake of his devotees. शुक्लंबरा तांदूला ताहारा प्रमाण अतएव सकल विधिर भक्ति प्राण. The acceptance of Shuklambar's rice is a proof of this. Therefore, devotion is the life of all rules. यथा विधि निषेधा सकल भक्ति दासा इहा ते याहारा दुखा से आया नासा. भक्ति विधि मूल काही लेना वेद व्यासा साक्षाते गौरंग ताहा करीला प्रकाशा. All these rules and regulations are servants of devotional service. One who is distressed because of this is vanquished. Veda Vyasa has stated that devotion is the root of all rules, and Gauranga has demonstrated this. In the Padma Purana, it is stated, Smartavyam satatam Vishnur, Vismartavyo na jatu chet, Sarva vidhi nishedashur, etayo eva kinkara. Most of us would have heard this verse. The Vedic injunctions are one should always remember Krishna, Satatam Vishnur, Vismartavyam na jatuchit, and never we have to forget Krishna. So I will ask you a small question. Is it easy to remember Krishna? Smartavyam Satatam Vishnu. Satatam means always. So can we remember Krishna always? Can someone answer?
No, Mataji, very difficult.
Yeah. So let's see
How?
what our acharyas have said about the word Satatam. Okay. Um So in this translation, before the purport, it is given that the rules and regulations are servants of devotional service. So devotional service is more uttam. That is why Shuklambar Brahmachari, when he was carrying rice, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without following any offering rules and regulations, Shuklambar Brahmachari didn't offer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked up the rice and ate. So in Padma Purana, this is saying Smartavyam Satatam Vishnu. How do we remember Krishna? Always Satatam. What is the Satatam telling? So Srila Jiva Goswami has translated and given purport to this word Satatam as daily. So Satatam actually means it has to be always continuous, spontaneous. But then the Acharya know that we are all in this material world, we are all doing various activity. It is okay when you're preparing foodstuffs, you might remember Krishna. Okay, I'm preparing this foodstuff for Krishna. Then suddenly you're searching for some ingredient, you are going to the fridge or you're going searching for a vegetable to prepare. And then again that smaranam goes. So Srila Jiva Goswami has translated Satadam as daily. So daily it is possible, right? For if it is not continuous, if it not throughout the day, 24 hours a day, 24 by 7, it's difficult. But Satatam means Srila Jiva Goswami said daily. So daily people do wake up after freshening up. You can, after having some water or whatever you would like to have, and you can start to sit and chant and do Mangalarti. Thereafter, prepare something, offer flowers to the Lord. So this way, when you're serving the Lord, later on you go for your Rajoguna activities or mode of passion when we get into to your work, to your job, to attend to your business or whatever it is. And that way you have remembered, you have done your spiritual activities, devotional service in the morning, then you have attended to your Rajoguna, and then when you get your time again, you start reading or listening to lectures. Krishna is the origin of Lord Vishnu. He should always be remembered and never forgotten at any time. All the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the Shastra should be servants. So, Sarva Vidhi Nishedashur Etayor Eva Kinkara, and all other rules, injunctions, etc. are servants to the principle that we have to remember Krishna always. So, here always has been given by Srila Jiva Goswami as at least daily we have to remember Krishna. Sri Gaurasundara's pastime of accepting Shuklambara's rice out of love without considering whether the rice was parboiled or raw and ignoring the rules for proper offering is the ultimate goal for persons who are on the path of Archana and who follow the path of regulative devotional service based on the Pancharatra Vidhi. All the Vedic rules and regulations are simply favorable attempts towards devotional service. We know that Leela, right? Can somebody remind me? Was it Namdev? His father used to offer foodstuffs to Panduranga Vithala, and one day his father couldn't go, and he gives it to the young boy, and the boy carries the plate of laddus and goes to offer to Vithala, and he waits there, and when Vithala doesn't eat, he says, "I will break my head on this pillar if you don't eat." Then Vithala says, okay, if I eat, then who will come and stand in my place? Then the boy says, I will go and stand. And Vithala from the altar gets down and eats the laddu. And meanwhile, Namdev is standing at the place where Vithala was standing. And when he brings back the empty plate and his father asks, where is the prasad? And the boy says, no, the Lord has eaten. And the father couldn't believe, because for years he has been offering, and he used to always get back the plate with the prasad after offering the Naivedyam. So then one day the father tiptoes behind the child and he goes to Vitthala's temple, and there uh, in front of him, when he sees that the boy is pleased, because the boy is pleased, Vithala eats, he has tears in his eyes. And then he says, of all these so many years I've done the bhakti, but the bhakti of this pure child is much more supreme, wherein the Lord has accepted the footsteps and personally come down to honor the footsteps. So here, the intention of the devotee, the the love of the devotee is more predominant, is more prominent than other rules and regulations of Pancharatra Vidhi, of way of Vidhi offering. We heard what all rules and regulations are there when while offering the footsteps of the Lord. All Vedic rules and regulations are simply favorable attempts towards devotional service, and therefore, since the devotees on the path of Anuraga are situated thousands of miles beyond unfavorable attempts. So devotees who are on the path of Anuraga, which is higher than even Prema. So in the process of bhakti, we have Adav, Shraddha, Tata Sadhu, Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, Anartha, Nivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava. So Bhava stage and Prema stage and Anurag comes. Then there are next 5, 6 steps in which Anurag comes. These people are situated thousands of miles away from unfavorable attempts, and they never transgress the path of Vidhi or regulative principles. Rather, they constantly remain on the path of Anuraga while following the regulative principles in the course of their service to Krishna. Those foolish materialistic persons who, due to material conceptions, are unable to understand service on the path of Anuraga, become averse to service of Krishna. So the normal materialistic person, they don't understand what is devotional service, or unable to understand service on the path of Anuraga. They are averse to the service of Lord Krishna. That is why the verse Apicheta Suduracharo of this verse can be seen in the footnote on page 418, has appeared in Sri Krishna's Bhagavad Gita. This does not mean that sinful life full of selfishness and perversion can be accepted as spontaneous devotional service. But without understanding this, the Prakrita Sarjiya who are attached to material enjoyment revolt against the pure devotees and pure devotional service, and thus traverse the path to hell. The topic of regulative devotional service and its concomitant rules and regulations that Sri Vedavyasa has described in the Smritis and the Puranas are properly illustrated in the characteristics of Gaura Sundara and his matchless servant. Let me open that verse, Api Cheta. Api Cheta Suduracharo Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhag Sadhureva Samantavya Samyak Vyavasito Hi Saha. Let me take Srila Prabhupada's translation rather than anything else. Hare Krishna. Just wait. I think let it open, then we will continue, because it's not opening so quickly here. We'll continue now. 146. Mudra nahi kare vipra nadila apane tatapi tandula prabhu kailayatane. The Brahmana did not offer the rice with mudras, nor did he even offer it. Yet nevertheless the Lord eagerly ate it. Chapter 9, 9.3. Just give me a moment, I got it. So this verse, apicheta suduracharo. So durachar means who is not performing proper achar. One committing the most abominable actions is sudurachara. Su means extremely bad abominable actions. Bhajate is engaged in devotional service. Me, Ananya Bhak. Mam is Krishna and me and Ananya Bhak is without deviation. Ananya Bhak, without deviation. Sadhu Saha eva saha mantavya is he is to be considered samyakli, completely vyavasitaha, situated in determination. So even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Here the word sudurachara is very, very significant and we should understand it properly. When a living entity is conditioned, he has two kinds of activities. One is the conditional and one is the constitutional. So what is our constitutional activity? Can somebody say what is constitutional for a living entity? What is his constitutional position?
Chanting the holy name.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So, Medhavani Sakhi Mataji said, the constitutional position of a living entity is Jiver Sarupoi Krishna Nityadas. But in his conditional state, he is having different activities. He is a sister of somebody, he is a mother for somebody, he is a wife for somebody, and based on this, or he is a husband for someone and he is a father for someone. So based on his conditional, he has to perform many more activities. As for protecting the body or abiding by the rule of just a minute. Sorry, Mataji. Yeah. So, as for protecting the body or abiding by the rules of the society and state, certainly there are different activities even for the devotees in connection with his conditioned life. So, for his society, for his home, for his country, or for his wherever he's performing his karma, there he has different. He is conditioned into that lifestyle or conditioned with so many other activities, and those activities are called conditional or naimittika. Besides these, the living entity who is fully conscious of his spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness or the devotional service of the Lord has activities which are called transcendental. Such and sometimes the living entity will find that these two goals are coming to clash, and that is why he, as a devotee, progresses in his spiritual life. He feels that what am I doing in this material world? We know that this is non-permanent in nature. Everything is going to perish along with this body. My name, everything associated with this body, including my name, is going to perish. And then my what will be permanent or eternal is my chanting of the holy names or the devotional service I have done to the Vaishnavas, or what I have served in the congregation, or what I have done devotional service to the Supreme Lord for the Archa Vigraha at home, or what classes I have heard, what reading I have done of Srimad Bhagavatam, this is what I'm going to carry eternally. There is no loss. Neha, which is that verse in Bhagavad Gita? Even a small activity towards this direction has no loss. Can somebody quote the verse from Bhagavad
Nehavikramanasnosti
Yeah,
pratyavayuna
Haribol.
vidhati.
So this verse says that even a small step taken towards devotion in this direction is not at all futile. Such activities are performed in the constitutional position and they are technically called as devotional service. Now in the conditional stage, what happens is sometimes devotional service and the conditional service in relation to the body will parallel one another. But then again, sometimes these activities become opposed to one another. And as far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. So as I said, sometimes the activity we do in our conditional stage will clash, will be parallel to the devotional service. Sometimes it will start to clash. And then the devotee becomes careful that what activities he does in the conditional stage doesn't clash with his devotional activities, or the goals don't clash. He knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically, but such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. So even when people say, okay, such a big Vaishnava, such a great Vaishnava has fallen down, but fallen down in terms of the rules and regulations laid down, but not fallen down in bhakti. So by when we say fallen down, so he might have not followed some regulative principle. But here this verse says that apicheta saduracharo, the scriptures, the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita sees that whether he has fallen down from his bhakti. No, he still continues to chant. So the person might have broken one of the regulative principles, but he still continues to perform his devotional service, he still continues to chant, then such a person, even though after having committed abominable actions, he is situated, properly situated, and is determined in devotional service, he has to be considered as saintly. Sadhur eva saha mantavya. Okay. So we go back to Chaitanya Bhagavat again. So because I took this verse because here in this we had in the purport Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has quoted Apicheta Saduracharo, and it is a very important verse. 147. Vishaya Madan Madanda Saba se marma na jane, Shuta Dhana Kula Made, Vaishnava na chine. Persons who are blinded by the pride of material enjoyment cannot understand this mystery. Intoxicated by their children, wealth, and family prestige, they cannot recognize a Vaishnava. So all of us come across so many people who are materially intoxicated, who are around us. You try to tell them, come for a Bhagavad Gita class, and they will ask you so many challenging questions that why should not I enjoy? Everybody is enjoying. Why should I not enjoy like them? And you will say that time is going to tell you, you might enjoy now. You might think you have a youthful body. But what happens as time progresses? Your enjoyment with your kids is not going to be constant. Your kids are going to grow up and they are going to come to your age. But by then, where you will be double the age of where you are now. And will the kids respect you at that time? The kids have their own life. Do you enjoy this life always? The time is always. Krishna says, for the atheist, I come in the form of time, and the time is death. So they don't realize because they are still in their youthful age. But unless and until they are slapped by Maya, they don't realize that one has to take to spirituality, which is our eternal goal and our constitutional position. देखी का दरिद्र ये वैष्णवेरा से अला पुत्र वित्ता काहू कृष्णेरा नावासे. So, okay, this is a very big purport. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. We'll stop here from 148. 148, we'll continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining.
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Somebody's mic is on. Bipin's phone. Who is Bipin? Can you please mute Bipin's phone, iPhone? Bipin, whoever is Bipin, can you mute your phone? Yeah, anybody has any questions or comments? Otherwise, we can close the class. Hare Krishna.
दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam. Happy to hear your class after a long time.
Hare Krishna.
I'm
Hare
not a regular, but occasionally I join for this Chaitanya Bhagavat class.
Okay.
Whenever I find time morning. So
Okay.
I join. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You are in Dubai only?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all assembled devotees. We'll end the class.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.